Shalom, shalom. Want to say all praises be to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Harakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the sincere brethren. I came out there across the four winds, the four corners of the globe, pushing the truth, the good news of Yahweh Shai, proclaiming salvation to the elect of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and proclaiming the downfall of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and his wicked empire. So this video is going to be entitled America the Big Bad Bully. America the Big Bad Bully. And the new Caesar, Donald Trump, man. Because Donald Trump just imposed tariffs, which tariffs are just taxes upon all the nations of the earth, bullying them, basically shaking them down for more money. You understand? Shaking them down for more money because he's feeling like they making too much money in their business dealings with America. So he want more of the cut, man. He want more of the pipe, which is what a devil does. You understand? So hey, and that goes back to the history because this is Rome all over again. And Donald Trump is one of those Roman Caesars, brothers believe Nero, coming back again. So this is the book of Luke chapter 2 verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus. And Trump is a modern day Caesar. So Trump just made that decree, I think it was 2 days ago. You understand? That decree to put tariffs upon all the nations of the earth, different percentages accordingly, but nonetheless tariffs, taxing them, extorting them basically. You understand? Yeah, so that's basically what taxes is. Extortion, man. You understand? You have to pay to play, man. And as always, there's going to be consequences. Militarily, economic, so on and so forth. There's going to be harsh consequences if you don't pay those taxes, if you don't get down with the get down, or if you don't come to an agreement, if you don't acquiesce to what DJ Trump wants to do. And a lot of these nations probably going to acquiesce in one way or another because America is the biggest economy on earth. And in order to have your economy doing well, so to speak, you have to do business dealings with America. And so I think he got a call from one of the top men in Vietnam, because Vietnam is one of those countries that has a lot of those multinational corporate entities like Nike and these different entities. They make their stuff out there. Basically a sweatshop for these multinational companies. Basically, one of the main men out there in Vietnam, I think is like a commerce secretary. He want to make a deal. He want to kowtow. He's like, yo, he gonna kowtow to the bully, the big bad bully America. And that's what DJ Trump is looking for. He's looking for these nations to bow, man, to bow and agree to sell out their people more and to give America, the elites here in America, a bigger cut of the pie. That's what it's all about. It ain't about bringing back no jobs to America. It ain't about all the other BS. No, it's about enriching and lining the pockets of the elites here in America more and more. Cutting deals, man. Cutting deals to make sure more money comes to America and those nations, they get less money. You understand? So those elites of those nations, those top men in those nations, a lot of them is going to continue. They already sold out their people, but they're going to sell them out even worse, man. You understand? A lot of them are going to acquiesce. But some of them is going to rebel, but that's more than likely going to be the top nations like China, Japan, you know what I mean? Some of them EU nations, they're probably going to rebel a little bit, but a lot of those countries, a lot of them is going to have to acquiesce in one way or other, which is going to, amp up the hatred, the animosity towards America. This is the book of Luke chapter 2 verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed, God. So that's what Trump is doing. Trump is doing the great shakedown of the earth, man. Shaking down all them nations, even her allies, man. The EU nations, Mexico, Canada. Trump has put major tariffs upon them. You understand? So this is a key thing to keep your eye on because this definitely influences the relationship economic, military, political relationship between these countries. Because these countries don't like that. The elites of these countries don't like that. Because they know Trump and these American elites just trying to take more money away from them. They don't like that. So guess what? In their mind, like I said, that animosity and that hatred is growing toward Babylon, man. You understand? American isolationism, man, which I did a video on. That's going to be a main point of World War III, man. America is going to be isolated. All the nations, even the allied nations of America, is going to come up against her, ultimately, in this Third World War confrontation. So this is the book of Luke chapter 2, verse 2. And this taxing was first made with Cyrenius, was governor of Syria, when Cyrenius was governor of Syria, and all went to be taxed. And if you know anything, nobody likes to be taxed. Hey, I don't like to be taxed. Nobody likes to be taxed, man. Americans here in America don't like to be taxed. That's what the whole American Revolution was about. British taxing the Americans. So more time, taxes and increased taxation leads to what? War and conflict. Nobody is happy about getting a tax increase, man. Because it is basically extortion, man. You know what I mean? You're taking more of my money to line your pockets. And that's what the big bad bully DJ Trump just did. That's what DJ Trump just did to these nations, man. Straight Debo-ing them, man. You understand? And we're gonna see, man, because China just implemented reciprocal tariffs. But we're gonna see how that play out. You understand? We're gonna see who ultimately has the cards, the economic cards with that. And so it might be America, and then China like, fuck it, let's just go military. Let's take Taiwan. Let's make moves where, yeah, economically you could fuck us up, but militarily, we got you in a tight spot. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But nonetheless, it's about the elites here in America lining their pockets, man, taxing the world, and using DJ Trump to do it. Verse 3, and all went to be taxed, everyone into his city, and Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because of this Joseph, Yahushai's father, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. Done. So, hey, Joseph and Mary, Yahushai's parents, they have to pay the tax. You understand? Because Jerusalem and Judea was under what? Roman occupation. Just like today, Jake, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you under you under the American captivity. So you have to pay the tax, right? Even you Jakes in what? Them foreign countries, in them in the Caribbean, in Central America, South America, and Mexico, you have to pay the tax, man. Trump say, yo, more taxes upon these people, man. Understand? Hey, throughout the scriptures, talks about taxation vexing the people, because that was the same deal with the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom breaking up. Rehoboam, he implemented heavier taxes on the northern kingdom, and that led to the secession of the northern kingdom from the southern kingdom, basically splitting the nation of Israel apart. So taxes, man, that's a great indicator of, yo, turmoil, frustration, and military conflict, unless some type of deal is cut. And we're gonna see how it plays out. Ultimately, this is a bad look upon America, man. This is a bad look upon Babylon the Great, because the world, the nations of the earth, looking like, damn, this is a selfish bitch right here, man. You understand? Because you are already the greatest economy on the earth, the richest nation on the earth, but yet still you want more. You want more. But that's Esau for you. Particularly that's the so-called white man here in America for you. This whole capitalistic system. But that's good for you nations. So to hell with you nations. So we not sad. F you nations, man. It's good. We happy. Trump doing it, because you nations ain't right either. You Chinese, you Japanese, you European Union nations, you're not right. And you heathens, and you exploit our people, same with the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and you don't stand up for us. So to hell with you. Good. Let Trump put more taxes upon you MFers, man. So it's good. But ultimately, we know this is all a part of the prophecy to get these nations riled up against Babylon the Great. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Habakkuk chapter 2, because it's also going to have implications here domestically, because they're saying it's going to be a great inflation, which we're going to see. Inflation because of the tariffs going to be passed on to the American public from the imported goods. That's coming in, man. You understand? So we're gonna see exactly how it plays out. So because you Americans, you ain't exempt, man. You're gonna face hardships too, just like these people in these foreign countries gonna face hardships. The whole world is gonna be under economic austerity measures, man. Which ultimately is gonna lead to the RFID chip. However they choose to play it, gonna lead to the RFID chip, which is gonna be the new economy. It's gonna be the center of the new economy, buying and selling. You understand? Of which in China they already have a system like that. It's not a chip, but it's an app. I think it's WeChat. Yeah, basically everything is done electronically. They don't deal with cash in China. And I know because I work with people. I work with Chinese people, and they've been out there, and everything is WeChat. They don't use cash at all in China. It's called WeChat. Everything is done there, man. Everything. And China is the biggest population on earth, I think. I like China and India, but even India following suit. Everything is done electronically, same way. Prepping the world, the global order for what? The digitization, ultimately the RFID chip. You understand? Which more than likely is going to come through some sort of crash of the current economic order. So this is book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5. Yea also, because he transgressed by wine, that's America, Esau Edom here in America, that wine is his different philosophies and ideologies, capitalism, feminism, democracy, so on and so forth, that he pushes toward earth, and these nations gobble up. That's why we say F you nations, guys. Yeah, you're dealing with the devil. What you expect? You're making deals with the devil. What you expect? Good for you, right? Yet also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home. Can Esau Edom have bases, military bases, garrisons in these different nations all across, damn near every nation across the globe. Yet also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlargeth his desires hell and is as death, can bringing death and destruction throughout the globe, man. Dropping bombs upon these different nations, man. Right now he's dropping heavy bombs upon Yemen. And is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gather it unto him all nations and heap it unto him all people. America, the great melting pot. All nations, these different people of these different nations coming here to what? Quote unquote, try to achieve the American dream, make money. Even these different nations, they come into what? Trade, man. They do trade and dealings with America. That's what this whole thing is, the whole tariff thing is about. It's a trade war, basically. Shall not these take up a parable against him and taunting proverb against him and say, woe unto him that increases that which is not his? How long? Can't. So that's exactly what the so-called white man is doing. He taxing these nations, basically taking more of their money, man. You know what I mean? Heaping onto him more of their money, more of their money from their merchandise, from the business dealings, increasing himself, which is not his. Let me read that again. Shall not these take up a parable against him and taunting parable against him and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long? And to him that laid it himself with thick clay. The thick clay goes into his whole debt system, because America runs on debt, credit. You understand? It runs on credit. That's why all these countries and these multinational corporations, their consumer base is here in America, because you could not have the money, but you could buy it anyway. And being indebted to these credit card companies, man. These banks, basically. You could be indebted to the bankers, man. You understand? You basically buying shit out of the thin air using credit, and now you in debt, and now you perpetually paying it back, man. You understand? And that's the Edomite, that's the so-called white man system here in America, and he pushed that throughout the globe. And these nations, they adopted that, and the elites of these different nations, they reap off of that. They're selling their merchandise here in America. That's why it's such a big deal with the tariffs, because yo, they need to sell their merchandise to America. So them tariffs is gonna F them up, man. It's gonna F them up, and that's beautiful, because like I said, they're not right. America not right, and they're not right. So it's beautiful, and it's ultimately a part of prophecy to get these nations more and more at a head with each other. Verse 7, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. So ultimately, upon the fall of America, these nations